Hey there, this is Benjamin McShannock from Ben Flips Cars. Whilst each used car that you buy to flip will have its own unique problems that you need to fix, today I'm going to take you through several touch-ups that you should do on every single car that you want to flip so that you can sell it for more money and ultimately for a higher profit. For more on every step of the car flipping process, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next weekly upload. So when working on a used car, you basically want to make it so that it's as close to new as possible so that when you sell it to the new owner, there's zero work that they have to do on the car themselves. Now there's 3 things you should do when you first buy a used car.
Go to a petrol station and first inflate your tyres. Check inside the driver's door opening or your owner's manual to ensure you're doing it to the correct pressure. This will immediately improve your tyre life, fuel economy and make the car safer by improving traction. It's completely free here to do in Australia, so be sure to do it. Second, give the car a full tank of fuel. If you're flipping cars like me, a full tank should be enough to sustain you through the entire flipping process. If you don't want a full tank, put at least half, so about 30 litres, 8 gallons for you Americans. Any fresh fuel will be beneficial, especially if the car has been sitting for a while.
After doing those first 2 things, you want to take the car home or to wherever you're going to work on it and do the third thing, which is to top up your washer fluid.
You could do this whilst at the petrol station, but I like to first pour in a dash of car wash soap as this will better clean the windscreen and help avoid streaks and noise when using the washer fluid as the wipers are better lubricated. Then fill it until water, not just bubbles, is coming out of the top of the reservoir. This allows you to give the windshield a quick clean whilst driving.
After these first 3 small touch-ups, you want to fix up every specific thing that the car needs. Could be mechanical work, could be cosmetic work, whatever it is, you want to fix it all up. Repair everything the car needs so the new owner won't have to do any work when you sell it onto them. Once you've fixed everything the car needs, we can move on to the final touches that every single car needs. What point have I mentioned so far that was unexpected or surprising? Let me know in the comments below. If you missed the previous videos on inspecting a used car, then I'll pop them up here in the corner for you to check out after you finish watching this video. This will tell you everything to look for in the first place when going to buy a used car. So the first thing of the final touches we want to do is just your standard exterior clean. And as you can see, this car is in dire need of it, so I'm excited to see how it comes out. If it's a cheaper car like this one, just a normal wash is going to be enough, unless the paint is severely faded around the car. But you can see, surprisingly, even after 230,000 Ks, there's still a pretty decent shine in the paint, and once it's washed, I'm sure it's going to be even better. However, if it's a more collectible car or a car rising in value, something a little bit older like a BMW E35 for example, then you're going to want to use iron decon, clay bar, proper polishing, stuff like that, because if it's a collectible car, a person or a collector is going to be willing to pay a lot more if it looks like it's in really good condition, if it looks brand spanking new. You really will get a better price for a more collectible car that way. With an older car like this, it's just not going to be worth it. The amount of time you have to put in to get that amount of paint correction done, especially when the paint's not in that bad a nick, is just not worth it for the small amount of extra money you're going to make. So to wash over the entirety of the car, we're just going to use the 2 bucket method. So 1 bucket with your car wash soap and some hot water, and then 1 just cool clear bucket, and you can use either a wash mitt or a sponge. You're going to use whichever one you're using. You're going to obviously scrub the car with it, and then you're just going to wash off all the dirt and grime in here so that basically you don't cross-contaminate all the dirt from the car with your clean, warm water that you're trying to wash the car with.
So really, I'm sure you all know how to wash a car, but just a few quick points. You want to wash it from top to bottom because that's going to bring the dirt down from the top, because if you wash it bottom to top, obviously you're just going to end up getting dirt from the top back on the bottom of the car. Working top to bottom, first you want to hose down the car. If you have a high pressure hose, use that. Unfortunately, I didn't. Then you want to scrub it top to bottom once again with your soapy water. Then rinse it down, rinse off all that dirt, and then dry it down top to bottom once again as well before the car dries off.
And wow, look at this. You can already see the enormous difference that just a simple exterior clean has made. Now, let's move on to the finer details. Okay, now that we've done the main body of the car, let's move on to the wheels and arches. If you can clearly see into the arches like you can on this car, because there's quite a bit of clearance between the wheel and the arch, you definitely want to clean inside that arch. It's going to make a big difference to the appearance of the car. Now, the easiest way to do that would just be using a high pressure hose, but the one I have is broken, so unfortunately we're just going to have to scrub in there with a dirty old sponge and using the 2 bucket method again. Righto, now that we've done the arch, we're going to move on to the actual wheel and tyre. So we're going to want to use just some general workshop degreaser. It's going to help to get a lot of that dirt and grit out from the wheel. Try not to use it too much on the tyre as it could harm the tyre. For the tyre, we're just going to use a brush to scrub it with. Maybe a little bit of a softer brush than this one would be ideal, but this is all I got, so that'll do. And just some normal water or some soapy water will do good to scrub the dirt off the side of the tyre here.
So first we're going to rinse down the entire tyre and wheel with water. Then we're going to hit the wheel hard with the degreaser, make sure it coats it fully and give it some time to soak so that the degreaser can start lifting that dirt up. Whilst it's soaking, spray the tyre with some soapy water and give it a scrub down with your brush. And then I didn't show it in this video, but on the wheel, scrub it with a sponge to get all the stubborn dirt off that won't come out by just rinsing off the degreaser.
Now the final thing we're going to want to do is apply some really good tyre shine. I've got this really great from Lithium. It does a great job, lasts for a lot longer than just your average tyre shine. We want the wheel to be dry first, and the tyre especially, obviously, because that's what we're putting it on. Let's get everything dried off before we apply this.
So give the entire wheel and tyre a good dry off. That's actually going to help to get off any remaining dirt, as you can see, off the wheel. Then with the tyre shine, we just want to spray it all over the tyre and let it soak for a couple of minutes. Then we can buff it off and it's applied properly that way.
Next, we're going to move on to the boot and door jambs. This car has a unique feature where it can open just the glass rather than just the boot. So that's what I'm going to do to show you the example of what we're going to do to clean it. You can see all this hidden dirt under here. The thing that's unique about all the jambs compared to the rest of the panel on the car is that these have basically been exposed to no sunlight. So the colour and the paint should pretty much be as good as the day it rolled off the factory line. Meaning what I usually like to use is this waterless wash and wax, because it effectively waxes the surface and brings out that shine to make it look new again. However, with this car, that's going to be a bit overkill because it's not cheap, the waterless wash and wax. So instead we're just going to use some soapy water. That's going to get us pretty much our desired outcome anyway. Now the process is the same for the boot jam, the jams up at the bonnet, the door jams, and even under the fuel cover. We're going to use the same process to clean all of them.
So the process simply is to give all the dirt a good spray down with the soapy water or waterless wash and wax, depending on what you're using. Give it a nice and thorough soaking. Then you're going to use just a detailer's brush to agitate all that dirt so that it's ready to be wiped off with a microfiber towel at the end. That's going to really bring out that shine in all the jams, make it look like new.
You can see how much better that already looks, and look at the amount of dirt that came off there. Obviously this part of the boot hasn't been cleaned in a long time. Now let's move on to the actual lid. We don't want to forget that, because when you look up at the lid, there's some dirt up there too.
Exactly the same process for the boot lid. Spray it down, agitate with a brush, then wipe away all the dirt with a clean microfiber towel.
Beautiful, so that's that part of the boot jam all done. Now go repeat this process with places like under the fuel cap. That's totally filthy. And behind every single door jam, you'll also see these are all pretty, well, these are actually not too dirty, but there's certainly some dirt there. Give that a clean out. Really makes the difference to the finishing touches. The last thing I'll point out on the exterior is that if there's anything on your window that's particularly stained or particularly stuck on, maybe something small like this, if it won't come off just with a normal wash, then use some window cleaner. That'll should bring it right out and make it look nice. Also, you'll notice if you drop your window just a little bit after cleaning it, there's a little bit of a line that's left over, like a dirt line or water line. So what you want to do with that is just simply drop every window a little bit and wipe it off when it's still wet. This isn't really coming off that well because my microfiber towel is dry, but you can see it does look a lot better. You can see a lot less of it. If you wiped it off when it's wet, it would come right off. Do that to the top of every window, then your windows are going to be looking great. These windows are tinted, so I'm not going to use the Windex on the inside of them. We'll just use some soapy water later on when we do the interior clean. There you go, we can see the car's already looking a ton better. The wheels look a lot more silver, it looks a lot more clean, a lot more shiny, and we haven't even done the interior or the engine bay yet. Comment with any questions you may have. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video where we're going to go over the cleaning the engine bay and cleaning the interior of the car also. My name's Benjamin McShannock, and thank you very much for watching Ben Flips Cars.